nice places, get in your places, throw on your dress and put on your doll faces. Everyone thinks that we're perfect, please don't let them look through the curtains. Picture, picture, smile for the picture, pose with your brother, won't you be a good sister? Everyone thinks that we're perfect.
Hi, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we have Asia here, and she has mono lids, so she has a very small amount of lid space. So a lot of you guys have been asking for more of these mono lid videos, so I decided to ask her if she can come in. She also has a little bit of acne and a little bit of acne scarring around her face, so this is also showing you guys how you can color correct and also get a full coverage foundation application without looking too cakey or you know, too shiny or anything like that. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. For this look we did do something dramatic as well. We did a cut crease with a silver liner and some wing liner. So I just wanted to show you guys that even though you have mono lids, you can still do a cut crease and you can still do something really defined and kind of structured and kind of all over the place. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for coming by.
Thank you.
I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Alright you guys, so I'm starting off with the Milani Stay Put Brow Pomade in the shade Dark Brown, as I usually use for all of my kind of lighter skin African American clients. Asia's brows are natural, so she has no structure, no shape or anything like that to them. She's never got them arched or threaded or waxed or anything like that, so I kind of tried to follow the natural shape of her brow, but not making them too thick, but thick enough, if that makes any sense. So I just kind of followed how her brows naturally were, and then I went in with some concealer and cleaned it up a little bit. I also went in with the Sigma Brow Powder Duo in the shade Dark Brown, and I used the lighter shade of the two, and I just kind of filled it in, kind of like to mimic like natural hair strokes and like that, to just kind of add a little bit more coverage. And then I go in with the LA Girl Pro Conceal shade Warm Beige, I believe this is, and I just use that with a flat definer brush by Sigma and use that to kind of sharpen up and carve out underneath of her brows, and I do that on both brows. Then after that I go in with the Essence I Love Stage eyeshadow base, as I've been using in all of my makeup transformation videos. This is just one of my favorite go-to primers. I just love it, and I use it with a P82 brush by Sigma, and I just use that to blend it out and kind of blend it with the concealer and have an even coverage all the way across. And then after that I take my fingers, and because she has a very hooded eyes, I take my fingers and I kind of feel around to feel where the actual socket in her crease is. So that is a way that I like to kind of look and kind of find where it is, so I know when I'm placing my brush in where it needs to go. After that I go in with Frappe by Makeup Geek. It's a beautiful warm tone, light kind of transition shade, and I just work that into her upper crease. Now we've already established she doesn't have much lid space or crease space at all, so it is going up pretty high underneath of her brow bone as well, but I'm trying to just disperse the product all over. And then I go in with these two eyeshadows. One of them is a Krylon and one of them is Makeup Geek. I don't remember what the two shades are, but I'm taking that on a smaller, more defined, I think this is an E38 blending brush, so it's smaller than the E40 blending brush, and I'm putting that right into the socket of her crease, once again a little bit lower than where Frappe is, and this is just adding a little bit of purple. So since her look is all purple, I wanted to use some kind of mid-tone purple just to kind of add a little bit more of a transition between the transition shade and the deepest and darkest shade. Now the darkest shade we're going to go in with is Shadowy Lady, and I'm taking this on a double-ended, this is a Urban Decay brush that came out of one of their Vice palettes, and I'm taking this on this brush because it's kind of like a flat pencil brush, but kind of like a shadow brush at the same time, and I'm putting this exactly into her crease. So I am pushing this right into where her eyeball socket is, just pushing this back and forth and blending it back and forth. I also like to take my thumb and kind of pull her eyebrow up so I can kind of get a feel more of where the space is, which you guys see me doing now. By doing that, it just kind of lifts the eyebrow and the eye space, since it's not, you know, like a hooded eye kind of leans like fold over. It just gives me more space to work with. So and it also stretches it all out. So after I do that, I go back in with that concealer and I just use that with the same flat definer brush and I start cutting out her crease. Now this is a cut crease look, and what you want to do is take that right up into where the socket of your crease is. If you need to touch your eyeball again, you can do that and just push that and kind of carve that all out to kind of create that cut crease. Just because you have very hooded eyes does not mean you cannot work and slay a cut crease. You can. You just got to have the confidence, and you just have to continue to practice. So right here, I'm just going back in with Shadowy Lady and taking that right over where the top of that the cut of the crease is, just to add a little bit more of that purple and more dimension, because I felt like after I applied that concealer, it all kind of went away and it kind of took all of that color away. So after that, I go into an Urban Decay Moon Dust shadow. This is one of the single shadows, and this is in the shade Glitter Rock. And I didn't realize that this was a moon dust shadow until after the fact. So I didn't use this with a glitter primer until I realized, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is really glittery and it's not really adhering. So if you have any of these Urban Decay shadows, you need to use a glitter primer, because that is the only way that you're going to get extreme pigmentation. After that, I did want to do something a little different, so I took this NYX Glam Aqua Luxe liner in the shade Glam Platinum or Platinum Glam, and I take that right where the cut of her crease is and kind of wing it all out and just draw like that silver line across. I thought this would be really cute and really funky and really different, just to kind of add a little edge to it. I really loved how this turned out, and I'm borderline wanting to do this look on myself because it's just so beautiful. So I just take it and I flick it up there and I bring it and kind of drag it out towards the tail. And then after that, I go in with some black liquid eyeliner, and I'm using my NYC black liquid eyeliner in Extreme Black. This is a Holy Grail liner, and I am doing a wing liner. So she has hooded eyes, and pretty much all of her actual lid space that she has when she opens up her eyes was covered up by this liner. But because I did a cut crease and it's an extreme cut crease, it doesn't really look like I took up a lot of her lid space. So next, I'm priming her skin, and I'm using the Milani Prime Shield. This is a mattifying and pore filling primer, and I'm just putting that all over her skin just to kind of create a smooth canvas and smooth base. And then as you can see, she has some old acne scarring and darkness all over her face. So I am using the Anastasia Cream Contour Kit in medium, and I'm using the shade Warm Coral with a My Makeup brush set, kind of like one of those spoon brush sets. And I'm just placing this everywhere where she has those dark spots. So everywhere where I feel like she has some dark spots that may or may not peek through the foundation and the concealer, I just go ahead and conceal with the peach corrector. And the peach corrector is going to cancel out any of the darkness that you have. Next, I go in with the Airspun Loose Face Powder. This is just a translucent setting powder, and I always tell anybody who likes to color correct to always go ahead and set your concealer with a translucent setting powder. That way it doesn't transfer or peek through any of that foundation, because it doesn't look cute to have orange foundation. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. After that, I go in with the L'Oreal True Match Foundations and C7. As you guys see, I love using any of the L'Oreal foundations. They have literally been all like my go-to for client foundations, because they stay matte, they're long wearing, and they have an awesome color range because they go from cool, neutral to warm, so you can always find a color for your skin tone and undertone. Next, I go back in with that warm warm beige LA Girl Pro Conceal, and I highlight all of her high points of her face. As you can see, I got a little bit of foundation on her lashes, so we won't really pay attention to that, but I highlight underneath of her nose, down the bridge of her nose, her chin, her cupid's bow, and also the center of her forehead. Asia doesn't have a very large forehead, so I kind of tried to highlight a small amount. And the reason I like to highlight this extreme is because it really brings out her features and really adds a lot of dimension and structure back into the face. So after that, I go in and bake her skin because she has oily skin, and I bake it with the Airspun Loose Setting Powder in the shade Translucent. After I'm done baking her face, I go in with the Black Radiance Soft Focus Finishing Powder in the shade Milk Chocolate. I know this is a finishing powder, but I've been loving contouring with this. It's just a really pretty, warm, kind of bronzy shade for medium to dark skin tone. Well, not really dark, but kind of medium skin tone. So I just use that to contour the perimeters of her face, and I also go ahead and contour down the sides of her nose. She does have kind of like a flat, one-dimensional nose, so I like to add a lot of structure by highlighting and contouring her face to kind of create more of like a structured nose. After that, I go in with a little bit of blush, and I'm using Coral Sandy Beach by Jordana. This is just something that you could just throw on your cheeks. It's pretty close to her skin tone, but it gives you like a peachy, kind of pinkish undertone. And then for highlighter, I go in with Ofra Cosmetics highlighter slash eyeshadow in Bliss. And I use that with a soft focus concealer brush by Sigma, and I just use that to highlight her cupid's bow, the tops of her cheekbones, very slightly on the tops of her cheekbones, just because once again she does have acne and you don't want to accentuate your bumps, and also her nose. Then I set her face with the I refreshed her face with the Mario Badescu facial spray. And then after that I go in with a NYX Prism eyeshadow in the shade 10, which is just a silver shadow, just to kind of carry on and continue on with the rest of the eye look. Last but not least, we're going in with a dark vampy purple lipstick. I am using Anastasia Beverly Hills Potion liquid lipstick, and I'm just placing that onto her lips just for a vampy, kind of just to bring out the purple in her eyes and just to switch it up because, you know, I've been doing a lot of pinkish, nudish, glossy lips, so I figured I'd do something a little bit different. So after that, this look is complete. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and also leave me some comments down below on what you thought about this one, and I'll love you and I'll see you soon. Bye!